Section D, essays and essay 4. Scenario given. Brown Printing, a small family-owned business, began operations on March 1st, manufacturing premium quality books. The owners have expertise in printing, but no accounting knowledge or experience. So they are experienced in printing, but they do not have accounting knowledge. The company's independent accountant compiled the following data for the month of March, and they have also requested an income statement. We have selling price per book, 90, number of units produced, number of units sold. We have produced 15,000 but sold only 10. So it means we have 5,000 units in the closing stock. And remember, it's just the first year of operations. Direct material, 15 per book, labor, $6 per book, and variable overhead, $4 per book. Fixed manufacturing cost is $240,000 per month. Selling cost is $3 per book. $3, remember, dollar sign is missing. And administrative expenses, $160,000 per month. The owners want to understand these numbers and how they can use the information to run the business. Of course, first they need to calculate the operating profit and gross profit. Define and explain absorption costing and variable costing. We have done it many times. Let me give you through numbers. When you say absorption costing, it includes, it's also called full costing, direct material, direct labor, variable overheads, and fixed overhead. This is what goes into computing the cost under absorption costing. When you say variable costing, the inventoriable cost is just 3 parts of the cost: direct material, direct labor, and variable overheads. So absorption costing, also called the full costing, it includes the fixed manufacturing cost together with the variable cost of production, whereas variable costing considers only direct material, direct labor, and variable overhead as a part of product or the inventoriable cost. No more, no less, sufficient to get you the credit. And that's what you will give, right? Right here, this one. Absorption costing, variable costing, just in this sufficient 1 or 2 lines explaining absorption, define and explain would be sufficient. Then calculate the unit cost of goods sold and prepare the income statement for March using variable costing. When you use variable costing, you need to first calculate the contribution. How do we calculate contribution? $90 is the selling price. From this selling price, you will have to deduct the material cost, the labor cost, the variable manufacturing cost, and variable selling cost, $3. So deducting all these 4 gives us selling price less material, labor, variable overhead, variable selling, gives you unit contribution margin. Unit contribution margin is $62. How many units did you sell? You sold 10,000 units. You can give the whole of this information in a paragraph form. Doesn't matter, as long as your working is correct. So $62 is the contribution unit per unit, and you have sold 10,000 books. It means the total contribution you have earned is $620,000. From this contribution, you need to deduct these 2. 620 less 240,000 for fixed manufacturing cost, less 160,000 for administrative expenses. Deducting these 2 gives you $220,000 of operating profit, and I think that is what you have in the next slides. See, you can go in the columnar form and you get the exact 220. He has given you in the vertical form full sales, full variable cost of production, full variable selling. You get contribution margin 620, same number we got right here, 620. And from this he has deducted the fixed manufacturing 240 and fixed administrative expenses to give you the total final answer of net income under the variable costing. It only said calculate the unit cost and prepare the income statement for March using variable costing. Since income statement is required, so I recommend that in this case, I think since it is explicitly requiring you to calculate income statement, so give it in a proper vertical format, just like given in this way. Not difficult. Simple single column, sales, all the variable cost. 25 basically is the sum of these 3 costs. 15 for material, 6 for labor, 21, 4 for variable overheads, 25. This is variable cost of manufacturing. That's what he's taken. 15 plus 6 plus variable cost of this 16 plus 15 plus 6 plus 4. This is unit cost of goods sold or unit manufacturing cost under the variable costing. And you simply use this information to calculate your contribution after deducting variable selling, fixed manufacturing, fixed administration gives you net income. You need to do the same thing using the absorption costing. Calculate the unit cost of goods sold and prepare the income statement for March using the absorption costing. Let's go straight to the scenario and do our working there. Under absorption costing, what you do, you need to calculate the CGS per unit. We have material, labor, variable manufacturing. We have to calculate the fixed cost per unit. 240,000 is the fixed manufacturing overhead divided with the number of units produced. 240,000 divided by 15,000 produced, it means it's 16. Fixed overhead is $16 per unit. So 15 plus 6 plus 4 plus 16 gives you a total manufacturing cost of $41. That's exactly what he has calculated, $41. You can give it in the paragraphic form. $41. See this one here. $41 is the unit manufacturing cost under the absorption costing. Now we have to give them the income statement, vertical format. What you will give, we can give it right here. How many units did we sell? We sold 10,000 units, each at 90. It means the sales revenue is 90,000, right? Cost of goods sold. This is the $41 unit cost. How many units did you sell? 10,000. So it means 41 multiplied by 10,000 is 410. This is $900,000. 10,000 times $900,000. Sales revenue. Deduct CGS 41 times 10,000 is 410,000. So deducting your CGS, absorption cost CGS gives you gross margin, that is 490. Now from this we deduct the selling expense, admin expense, going back to the scenario. Selling cost per unit is 3. This is important point. Selling cost per book is 3. You need to multiply 3 with the unit sold, not the unit produced, because selling cost is driven by the number of units sold. $3 per book multiplied by the number of books sold. 10 multiplied by 3, 30,000. Administrative expense is 160. So 30 and 160, these are the two items that we need now. So going to the question. This one, you can see 900,000 sales revenue, 410 is the cost of goods sold. Gross margin, selling expenses $3 per book multiplied by 10,000, 30,000, and administrative expenses gives you net income. So this is the income statement using absorption costing. Now what you need to see, net income under variable costing is 220. Net income under absorption costing is $300,000. This is exactly what he discusses in the next one. I think one question after this one. Identify and describe 2 disadvantages of using variable costing and 2 limitations of using absorption costing. Advantages of variable costing is no incentive to overproduce. As you have seen under the absorption costing, your profit is $300,000, whereas under the variable costing, your profit is $220. So under the absorption costing, whenever production is more than sales, under absorption costing, whenever production is more than sales, the profit under absorption costing would be higher than the profit under variable costing. So there is an incentive to manipulate your profit under absorption costing by producing more. That's what has happened here. If you go back to the scenario, we have produced 15,000 books, whereas we only sold 10,000. Our production was more than sales. So these 5,000 units, which we didn't sell, these 5,000 units carry with them a part of fixed overhead which did not get expensed. How much is there? I can tell you, since we have produced 15,000 books on per unit basis, each item carries a fixed cost of $16. Each book carries $16 of fixed overheads. If 5,000 units were not sold, it means 5,000 multiplied by 16, $80,000 worth of fixed overheads. They have become part of your finished goods inventory. They have embedded themselves in the finished goods inventory. They did not get expensed. This $80,000 did not get expensed, and that is the reason, gentlemen, ladies, your absorption costing profit is $80,000 higher than your variable costing. As you can see, Your variable costing income was 220. Add 80 to it, 300. So whenever your production is more than sales, fixed cost becomes embedded as a part of your finished goods inventory and it doesn't get expensed. Resultantly, your absorption costing profit is higher. Conversely speaking, whenever your sales is more than production, in that case, profit calculated under variable costing will be higher than the profit calculated under absorption costing. Reason, the fixed cost that was embedded in inventory, it finally gets released in your CGS. Resultantly, now your absorption costing profit has fallen compared to the variable costing. This is the idea we discussed in detail in your essay type 3. So, advantage of variable costing is there is no incentive to overproduce. If you produce more, much more than sales, but you will not be able to manipulate the profit because under variable costing, profit is the function of sales. Whenever sale goes up, profit goes up. Sales goes down, profit goes down. But in absorption costing, the relationship between profit and sales is erratic. Sometimes your sales are going up, profit is falling. Sometimes sales are going down, profit is increasing. Why? Because under absorption costing, profit is a function of sale and production both. So we can manipulate profit under absorption costing by producing more. So first is, under variable costing, management will not be able to manipulate profit. There is no incentive to overproduce because profit will not change with the level of production. Moreover, variable costing is more useful for decision making. You will see this when you'll do section C, CMA part 2, decision analysis based upon variable costing. Because in the short run, the relevant costs are variable, fixed costs which you have to pay is irrelevant. So these are the advantages of variable costing. Drawbacks of absorption costing is, limitation of absorption costing is unsold units. When you produce more than you can sell, resultantly those overproduced units, they will make your inventory swell. You may have to pay more holding cost, you have to pay more insurance, more theft, more pilferage, more deterioration, more out of fashion stock. So unsold stock will result in more cost for the firm. Limitation of absorption costing. This method can lead to management overproducing inventory to obtain better financial results, as we discussed earlier. In fact, one contra is given to, opposite to one is given here too. Under absorption costing, management will deliberately produce more to manipulate the numbers, right? So just a couple of lines for each of these would be sufficient to answer satisfactorily on this part. Next, explain why there's a difference in the net income between variable costing and absorption costing. And we have just calculated the difference. The 80,000 difference between the net income under the two method represents the value of fixed manufacturing cost that has been embedded or included in the ending inventory under absorption costing. Since we have produced more than we could sell, our production was 15,000, sale was 10,000. The difference between these two was 5,000 multiplied by fixed overhead per unit, that was 16, gives you $80,000. This is the figure that has been included in the part of inventory, which is fixed cost. Resultantly, your profit has manipulated by $80,000. We discussed this earlier, and this much text should be sufficient to convince, or if you want to go the working can be given this way, 5,000 multiplied by 16, thereby justifying this 80,000 number, right? All right, now define and explain throughput costing. This is used in theory of constraints. Throughput costing is a costing system in which the only variable cost is material, right? So we calculate just like when we calculate contribution in our variable costing. Contribution is sales minus direct material minus direct labor minus variable overhead minus variable selling minus variable administration. This is what you do in your variable costing. But in throughput contribution, the only variable cost is direct material. Material is only variable cost, is only inventoriable costs. It is sometimes also called the super variable costing. Remember? So, under throughput costing, material is the only inventoriable costs. And this is how we calculate the contribution margin. Super variable is also called super variable costing, and throughput contribution is calculated by deducting just the direct material. All the other costs, labor, variable overheads, variable selling, admin, they are considered fixed, right? So this is under throughput costing, direct material is the only inventoriable cost. It is also known as the super variable cost. All the other costs, they are considered as a period cost. And that completes your essay type number 4.